My name is Clara Bennett. For years, I believed I had it all figured out. A thriving career at Greystone Technologies, close friendships that felt like family, and Michael Harris, someone I trusted more than anyone. Michael wasn't just a coworker. He was my partner in late-night projects, the voice in my ear during impossible deadlines. We laughed, planned, and dreamed about how we'd climb the corporate ladder together. Sometimes, after long days, we'd grab coffee and share stories about our lives, his full of ambition, mine full of hope. He knew about my mother's illness and always checked in with a kindness I hadn't expected. I thought we were inseparable, that he had my back through anything. But life doesn't come with warnings. It started small, almost invisible. Whispers in the hallways about leaks, rumors about confidential information slipping out. I told myself not to worry. I had nothing to hide. I was proud of my work, my loyalty, my dedication. But then, the whispers grew louder. Like shadows creeping across a wall, quiet but menacing. Each murmur felt like a sting, a crack in the foundation of my world. One bleak morning, our company's latest confidential blueprint appeared online in the hands of a competitor. Panic spread like wildfire. Executives demanded answers, sharp glances, tense meetings, hushed conversations behind closed doors. And I could feel the weight of suspicion shift onto me. The familiar faces in the office suddenly looked at me with cold eyes. Their trust twisted into doubt. The air grew heavy with accusation. Every step I took felt like walking through a minefield. The walls seemed to close in tighter with every passing day. The worst part? The man who led the charge against me was Michael. I remember the meeting like a nightmare etched in my mind. Michael stood before our boss and the board, his eyes cold and calculating as they landed on me. "I wish it weren't true," he said, voice dripping with fake regret, "but Clara has been leaking information to our competitors." I was stunned, betrayed. The ground beneath me cracked open and swallowed me whole. Overnight, I became the enemy. Friends I thought I could count on stopped returning my calls. My parents, confused and hurt, asked if it was true. My reputation shattered. I felt isolated, like I was drowning in silence and doubt. Every whisper felt like a dagger twisting deeper. Every morning I forced myself to get out of bed, swallowed down the fear and anger that churned in my stomach. The weight of betrayal pressed down, but I refused to let it break me. But deep inside, I held on to a secret truth. Michael was the real traitor. Behind closed doors, he was siphoning money from the company, meeting with competitors, trading secrets for cash, using me as the perfect scapegoat to hide his greed and deceit. For months, I lived in silence, working in the shadows, piecing together evidence, emails, bank transfers, secret meetings. Every day was a battle, trying not to alert him, trying to keep my sanity. The paranoia was suffocating. Every unexpected call made me jump. Every knock on the door sent my heart racing. Some nights, I cried myself to sleep, wondering if the truth would ever come out. But I refused to give up. I reminded myself why I fought for justice, for my future, for every person who'd ever been betrayed. And now, here I sit in this courtroom, hands clenched so tight my fingers ache, waiting for my chance to finally speak my truth. The courtroom smells of polished wood and old paper. Sunlight filters through tall windows, casting long shadows. Outside, a low murmur of whispers and footsteps. Inside me, a quiet storm of hope and fear. The judge pounds the gavel. Court is now in session. The moment I had been waiting for, the moment that had consumed my every waking thought for the past year, finally arrived. I took the stand. My heart hammered in my chest like a wild drumbeat, but my voice was steady, clear, unwavering. I trusted Michael Harris. I believed we were building something real, something lasting. While I was working late nights, pouring every ounce of energy into this company, he was plotting my ruin behind my back. He didn't just want me out of the way, he wanted me destroyed. But I didn't stop fighting, because the truth matters. It always matters. The defense lawyer came at me hard. He tried to paint me as bitter, vengeful, desperate for attention and revenge. He accused me of spinning stories, of playing the victim. But I answered every question calmly, deliberately, because I knew I had the truth on my side, because I knew justice was within reach. The courtroom was thick with tension. Every eye was locked on me, every breath held tight. The faint creak of the wooden benches, the shuffling of papers, all faded beneath the weight of what I was about to reveal. Then Megan, my attorney, played the recording, the moment that shattered their entire defense. A secret meeting between Michael and a competitor's CEO, hidden away in a quiet room where he laughed and said, "She was getting too much credit, so I took her out of the picture." The courtroom gasped. I'll never forget the look on Michael's face, like the world was crumbling beneath him. His confident mask shattered, replaced by shock and defeat. The jurors leaned forward, eyes fixed on the screen, absorbing every word, every nuance of that damning confession. Megan turned to the jury. This isn't speculation. This is calculated betrayal, fraud, and character assassination, all orchestrated by one man, desperate for power and wealth at any cost. The defense lawyer faltered. No more questions. No more lies. Hours later, the jury returned with their verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant, Michael Harris, guilty on all counts of fraud, defamation, and perjury. The gavel slammed down. I exhaled deeply, for the first time in what felt like forever. Michael was handcuffed and led away. His once confident stride now a slow, defeated shuffle. For me, this wasn't about revenge. It was about truth. It was about justice. Outside the courtroom, reporters swarmed me. One shouted, "Clara, any comment?" I looked straight into the nearest camera and said, "This isn't just my story. It's for anyone who's ever been lied about, betrayed, or silenced. Don't stop fighting for the truth, because karma always catches up." The words hung heavy in the air. Weeks later, I stood in my new office at another tech firm. My reputation restored, my confidence stronger than ever. I smiled, knowing I had gained something far more valuable than a job. I had my voice back, my truth, my future. And Michael? He was no longer the man in the corner office. He was the man behind bars, thinking about the woman he tried to destroy. And how, in the end, he destroyed himself. Have you ever faced a betrayal so deep that it shook your entire world? Have you ever felt the sting of being falsely accused, left to pick up the shattered pieces of your life? If you have, know that you're not alone. Clara's story is a reminder, no matter how dark it gets, the truth has a way of shining through. It takes courage, resilience, and patience. And justice, it always finds its way home. So, what's your story? What truth are you holding on to, waiting for your moment to be heard? Remember, even in the darkest moments, light can break through.